Tom stared at the screen, frozen. An email had appeared from an anonymous sender, and in it was a picture of Clara, smiling at Jake in a gym locker room. His hands shook. He felt sick, heart pounding, every second heavier than the last. His world tilted on its axis in a way he never thought possible. Questions swirled. Why? How long? And what did it mean for their life together? He couldn't breathe. The email ended with just 3 words. She's been lying. Tom walked through his house. Everything looked normal, but his mind was replaying the past year. The subtle late-night gym excuses, the sudden interest in yoga, and the extra hours at work he thought were mundane. Each memory now felt like a trapdoor he had been walking over blindly. Every smile from Clara that once felt warm now carried a question mark. His trust was gone. Tom needed proof. The email alone wasn't enough. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through Clara's messages, but everything seemed normal. He decided to act carefully, to gather evidence without alerting her. His mind raced with plans, tracking her gym visits, checking receipts, even installing a hidden camera. The thought made him uneasy, but he knew he had to know the truth fully. The next morning, Tom drove past the gym Clara claimed to attend for health. He parked at a distance, watching. Through the window, he saw her laughing with someone, a man with broad shoulders and a confident stance. His stomach sank. Every laugh, every casual touch, he now knew was not innocent. Tom took notes, heart hammering, realizing the affair was real, ongoing, and much closer than he imagined. Tom finally decided to enter the gym under the guise of joining. He needed close-up evidence. As he walked past the reception, Clara noticed him. Their eyes met for a second, and he felt an unbearable tension. He wandered, camera ready, and finally captured her hugging Jake in a corner, whispering something. His heart broke in a new, sharper way. Tom sat in his car after leaving the gym, staring at the photos on his phone. Every image of Clara with Jake felt like a hammer hitting his chest. He remembered their last dinner, her laugh echoing in the restaurant, completely unaware of what he had just seen. The betrayal wasn't just a fleeting act. It had been a year-long secret life. Anger mixed with sadness, and Tom's hands shook as he tried to think straight. He knew he had to confront her eventually, but how? Could he even face her without breaking down? Every plan he made crumbled under the weight of hurt. The anonymous email haunted Tom. He wondered who could have sent it. Was it a friend, a neighbor, or someone jealous? He decided to reply cautiously, asking for more details without giving away that he already suspected everything. Hours passed, and the tension grew unbearable. Finally, another email arrived with timestamps, gym check-ins, and even receipts from a coffee shop where Clara and Jake often met. The tipster knew more than he expected, and that made Tom both grateful and uneasy. Tom couldn't carry the weight alone. He met Martha at a small cafe near his office. As he explained everything, he felt a mix of shame and relief. Martha listened quietly, occasionally offering a sharp, practical comment. She told him he deserved to know the full truth and suggested he gather undeniable evidence before confronting Clara. Her calm, rational voice steadied him. For the first time in days, he felt like he had an ally. Tom began a routine of tracking Clara's movements. He checked her social media, followed her discreetly, and even looked at the GPS history on shared devices. Every trip to the gym, Every unexplained outing now had a purpose: to catch the truth. He noticed patterns. Jake's classes were always timed when Tom was busy at work. The more he followed, the more he realized how carefully the affair had been planned. His heart ached, but his resolve hardened. Tom spotted Clara and Jake at a small coffee shop he had never noticed before. They were laughing, leaning close, clearly oblivious to the world. Tom's chest tightened. He stayed hidden, snapping photos from a distance. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was public, right under his nose. He realized he had to act soon. The evidence was piling up, but facing her would require courage he wasn't sure he had yet. Tom spent nights staring at the ceiling, replaying every interaction with Clara from the past year. Every hug, every smile, every shared secret now felt tainted. Sleep refused to come, replaced by thoughts of confrontation, revenge, and heartbreak. He knew he couldn't go on pretending. Something had to change, but he was terrified of the fallout. His mind alternated between rage and grief, leaving him drained and paranoid. Tom decided to confront Clara subtly. Over dinner, he asked about her gym schedule and mentioned he had seen some receipts he didn't understand. Clara laughed nervously, brushing off the questions, claiming she was being careful about budgeting. Tom tried to hide his anger, but her evasiveness only fueled it. He realized a casual approach wouldn't work. He needed undeniable proof and a plan to face her when he was ready. Tom finally decided he needed direct evidence. He bought a small, hidden camera and placed it near the living room, hoping to catch Clara in a revealing conversation or message. Every creak of the floor made his heart race. For days, he pretended normalcy while secretly recording. When he finally checked the footage, he felt a punch in the gut. Clara had called Jake and laughed over the phone, unaware of his presence. The betrayal was no longer hypothetical. It was clear and undeniable. By now, Tom had photographs, emails, receipts, and video footage. He organized everything meticulously in folders, feeling a grim satisfaction. Each piece told the same story, a year-long affair, carefully hidden from him. Seeing it all together made his anger sharper. He realized he had to confront Clara in a way that couldn't be denied, but the thought of facing her eyes was terrifying. His love and hate collided, leaving him unsure of what to do next. One evening, Tom received a call from the anonymous tipster. The voice was disguised but calm. They warned him to be careful and hinted that Jake had a history of manipulating women. Tom listened carefully, heart racing, realizing this was bigger than just his marriage. The tipster ended the call abruptly, leaving him with more questions than answers, but also a sense that he wasn't alone in this fight. Driven by anger, Tom decided to visit the gym directly. He waited near the reception and saw Clara and Jake entering together. Instead of hiding, he walked up to them. Clara froze. Jake smirked, as if challenging him. Tom's heart pounded, but he stayed calm, asking Clara who the man was. She stammered, and Tom realized it was finally happening. The confrontation he had imagined 1,000 times. Clara finally admitted everything: how she met Jake, how it started slowly, and how it became a secret she couldn't stop. Tom listened in disbelief, tears mixing with anger. He felt like he was watching his life unravel. The admission confirmed everything he had seen. Yet hearing her voice say it out loud made it more real. He realized there was no turning back. The marriage he thought was solid had been built on lies. After the confrontation, Tom knew he needed a plan. He couldn't make impulsive decisions. Martha helped him think logically, document everything, consider legal options, and protect himself emotionally. He started drafting emails, keeping records, and thinking about whether to stay or leave. The weight of the next steps pressed down, but having a strategy gave him a sliver of control over the chaos. Tom struggled with sleepless nights and emotional exhaustion. Everywhere he looked, he saw reminders of the past year. He tried to eat, sleep, and function normally, but everything felt heavy. Sometimes he caught himself staring at Clara, unsure whether he felt anger, sadness, or longing. The betrayal was not just about her. It was about every memory, every moment they shared, now overshadowed by lies. Detective Saunders, a private investigator recommended by the tipster, approached Tom. He offered help in organizing evidence for potential legal action. Saunders was calm, professional, and gave Tom a small sense of reassurance. Finally, Tom felt he wasn't entirely alone in navigating this nightmare. The detective's presence reminded him that this wasn't just emotional. It could have real-world consequences if handled properly. Tom worked with Detective Saunders to organize all the evidence: photos, videos, messages, and receipts. They cataloged each piece carefully, creating a timeline of Clara's affair. Every item reminded Tom of betrayal, but he knew he needed a complete record for confrontation or legal purposes. The process was exhausting, but it also gave him a sense of control over a situation that had left him powerless for months. While reviewing the footage, Tom noticed something shocking. Jake had been meeting other women besides Clara. This changed everything. The affair was not personal. It was part of a pattern of manipulation. Tom felt a mix of relief and anger. Relief because it was not about his worth. Anger because Clara had been deceived by someone manipulative. He realized the situation was bigger than just his marriage. It was a lesson in trust and vigilance. Tom invited Clara to sit down for a serious conversation. This time, he had the evidence ready. As he laid out the photos, messages, and videos, Clara's face changed from defensiveness to panic. She couldn't deny anything. Tom's heart ached, but he stayed calm. The confrontation was painful, yet necessary. Every lie laid bare gave Tom clarity. After the confrontation, Clara broke down. Tom listened quietly, torn between anger and lingering love. She admitted her mistakes fully, apologizing repeatedly. Tom realized that forgiveness would not come easily, and that trust, once broken, might never be restored. The emotional toll was enormous, and he felt both liberated and trapped at the same time. Tom spent days reflecting. Should he try to repair the marriage or walk away? He walked through their neighborhood, revisiting memories. Each step brought clarity. Love could be complicated, but betrayal had changed the foundation. He wrote down pros and cons, discussed options with Martha and Saunders, and prepared mentally for whichever decision he would make. Tom decided to end the affair and set boundaries. Clara agreed to therapy and to cut all contact with Jake. Tom changed passwords, blocked accounts, and secured his personal life. He felt a mix of relief and sadness. Ending the influence of the other man gave him a sense of empowerment, but the emotional damage remained. Tom started focusing on himself: exercise, meditation, and reconnecting with friends. He spent more time with Martha and other supportive people. Healing was slow, but each small step felt significant. He realized that self-respect and personal boundaries mattered more than preserving an illusion of normalcy. Tom confronted Jake at the gym, calm but firm. He made it clear that the affair was over and that boundaries had to be respected. Jake smirked initially, but understood Tom's seriousness. The confrontation didn't bring closure instantly, but it gave Tom a sense of justice and control. He finally stopped feeling like a passive victim. Tom and Clara attended therapy together. Progress was slow, and trust had to be rebuilt step by step. They learned communication, honesty, and accountability. Tom remained cautious, but he also realized that relationships could recover if both parties were committed. The future was uncertain, yet filled with possibilities. Months later, Tom stood in their garden, watching the sun set over their home. The pain hadn't disappeared, but he felt stronger, wiser, and in control. Life had changed forever, but he had survived the betrayal. He knew boundaries, trust, and honesty mattered more than ever. Clara stood beside him, tentative but sincere. They had a long road ahead, but for the first time it felt possible to move forward.